right, it looks like everything is working. Did I just do a good introduction? Did everything just run smooth? Is the stream good? Video quality looks good. We are on platforms. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitch. We are on YouTube. Look at me, adapting to the future. Well, I used to stream daily back in 2020. And I'm just getting used to doing it again. I knew this technology at one point, but then after you don't use it for a while, you feel the 40 years old kick in, and then you kind of just forget, like, oh, what button do I push? What's going on? How come I don't hear myself? But now, look at me, back like I'm 36 all over again. What's up, Miami? Welcome to another podcast live stream. Well, it's not the official podcast, but we are live streaming for material. How have you been? How was your weekend? I hope you enjoyed the brand new skit I put out there. I didn't know Donald Trump was opening a presidential library around here. That's impressive. I was not expecting that. I thought Donald Trump already claimed the territory after opening up the location in Doral. I thought that was it. But no, there's more to go. Apparently, it's a response to the presidential center that Obama is opening in June in Chicago. And why not? Why shouldn't there be a presidential library? And out of all the cities, Miami, you know, I've been saying this for years, both on stage and on content. Miami is low-key the capital of the United States of America. Washington, D.C. is just the dud. That's the dummy. Because in Miami, everything that you see that's happening here is one of the best representations of the United States. We've got women, we've got money, we've got all sorts of indulgence. Why shouldn't we be the underdog capital of the land of the free? We do so much free shit. Even Florida man is out here doing shit with all that freedom. That's why he's doing dumb shit all the time, because of that freedom. That's more than just the First Amendment right. And so I think Miami is probably the best location to do this new project that Donald Trump is embarking in. And more power to him. I really think that Miami needs some sort of quote-unquote education center, which could be a front for the tax loopholes, but I'm not mad at that. There's some people out there that, you know, get upset at the fact that, you know, you call it a library when obviously there might be a hotel somewhere in there. It's just the way it is. You got to understand how this stuff works. Somebody posted a video saying that if you make more than 60, I forgot where I saw this, but the claim is if you make more than $60,000 a year, you shouldn't be eligible to become a president. So you want somebody that doesn't make money or creates value to be running the country? You're trying to tell me that somebody that makes $59,000 or less should be given one of the most powerful positions in the world? That person will probably be even more corrupt. All you got to do is offer him 60,000, 61,000, 62,000, and he's dropping nukes because he's never seen that kind of money before. It's easy to make these kinds of claims on the internet. You know what I mean? That's what the internet is for. But I digress. I mean, I really look forward to this new project. I hope it comes sooner than later. I hope it doesn't take as long as it takes to build the, what are they called? The arcs that's happening in Miami. That's been like close to like a decade for it to be finished. I hope this happens like within, or rather before 2030. Before the new decade comes around, I'd love to see the presidential library open. It turns out it's going to have the Qatar plane, which is a Boeing 747, which was a gift. I don't even know why they gifted the president that. Is that like the Air Force One plane? What makes that 747 so special? Oh, I know. We can ask AI what makes it so special. Oh, AI. Hang on. Let me make sure I got everything out here perfect. Shout out to all the people tuning in. Python Promotes Music says, Isaiah 41:10. Oh, we got a Bible thumper in the comments. I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that. He says, your video paused, by the way. And yes, the intro was good. Yep, it keeps pausing. Well, it looks pretty smooth on my end. You don't think I have like an iPad and an iPhone looking at the stream as well as the stream itself on the output here? It's not my fault you didn't pay your Wi-Fi bill or you got the low-end package. That's not my problem. Research, go on Google speed test, see if that gives you the right response so you can see the Miami Comedy Podcast in its full 4K glory, I think. Is it 4K? I'm not sure. But it's looking pretty smooth on my end. So, all right, let's go on over to AI. Hang on, man. Look at this. Look at this. Look at oh my God. Tell me I'm not going to be that 40-year-old guy in a garage knowing how to live stream. What? God forbid I leave a porn tab open. I got to make sure I've got my P's and Q's very well detailed while I'm live streaming, because I'm just pushing buttons and things are happening instantaneously. I don't know what to expect. Will the password leak? I can't wait to have a kid to start asking him how to do technical stuff and see just how thin his patience can run. I'm sure you guys have parents that were the same. Technology just keeps getting better and better, and they want to know, hey, what's going on with the Wi-Fi? It's really slow. Well, according to your browser history, Dad, you've got a kink. And it's kinking up the Wi-Fi. All right, let's ask, before we even get to the trends over at Threads, Spacewalk says, delete web history. Well, for the record, your boy hasn't been browsing for a very long time. And I'm proud of that. And let me tell you guys something. Abstinence really does go a long way. You know why? Because what you're doing is you're practicing delayed gratification. And that, well, I'm telling you, man, the one thing that people take for granted is the ability to say no to things you're going to love and while it's happening, but hate after it happens. You know what I mean by that? Like pulling an all-nighter, a bender, binge drinking while it's happening. It's a lot of fun. Granted, you probably won't remember the second half of it, but you know the next day is going to suck. And probably the next day after that. So you probably got 48 hours of a hangover to recover. And this is, of course, speaking from a 40-year-old's perspective. Only to have, 3 to 5 hours of fun? It's not worth it anymore. So if you say no to the bender, you say no to that tequila shot, you're going to feel better knowing that your next 48 hours is going to be productive. Boring, but productive. And sometimes boring is the best kind of happiness there is. Did you know that? Did you know boring is just a neutral state of happiness? That's what I've learned as a wise 40-year-old guy creating content in a garage somewhere in Doral. That's what I've learned. You got to say no to the things you love that you hate in the long run. All right? There you go. There's your little tip right in the beginning of this episode. But yeah, let's ask AI. What's so special? Oh, wait, hold on. I turned on look at this. What's so special about the 747 Boeing gifted to Donald Trump by Qatar? Now I can talk to it. It's not just the plane. It's basically a 400 million flying penthouse that needs to be turned into a nuclear survivable command center. Which is where things get messy. Oh, so it's also a safe haven in case there's a nuclear explosion. So then, all right, let me see the inside of this place. Inside the Boeing 747 Qatar gift. Excuse me. Excuse me. We are live and direct, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Sneezes, yawns included. Let's see. The Trump administration said it had accepted a gift 747-8 from Qatar. The jumbo jet previously served as a luxurious private business. So wait, it was used? It's a hand-me-down. That's not really that impressive as a gift. Have you ever gotten a hand-me-down? Oh, yeah, here's a PlayStation 4. The 5 is out. Yeah, I know. It's still a PlayStation 4. The plane sports multiple bedrooms, a salon, a private living room, and a kid's playroom. A luxurious jumbo jet that the Defense Department said it had accepted as a gift from the Qatar is chock full of the glitz and grandeur President Donald Trump has shown as a penchant over the years. And you know what, man? Look, Donald Trump, even though he got that as a gift, he is rocking a plane as something for displays. A plane of this kind as a display in this quote unquote education center. Which, as I mentioned before, for sure is a tax loophole thing. If you open a hotel and it's got a museum in it, it's got to give you some sort of educational thing, right? You call it a library, it's got to have some library thing going for it. No one goes to the library anymore in Miami. That's what you do if you're a dad that's hungover and you need to hang out with your kids on a Sunday. You take them to the library, you look at a book about a cat, and you call it a day. That's it. Because you don't want to go to Chuck E. Cheese. Right? So Trump said he'd be stupid to turn down the gifted Boeing 747, especially as he has been vocal about his disappointment in the delays for replacement that Boeing may not be able to deliver until 2028. Oh, so this is kind of, all right, so I get it. It's a private jet, but instead of it being a private jet, it's a jumbo jet. All right, now I understand. Yeah, it's a flying penthouse. That's what makes it special. So people are out there flexing that they're getting on private jets. Well, this is a whole new level. This is you getting the entire airliner for yourself. And look, it looks like it's got a second floor. It's got couches. Think of a foyer, couches, touchscreen light switches, and bedrooms with in-suite bathrooms. Yeah, you gotta admit, that looks pretty good, man. Can you rent it out? They should, if to make it a little extra, they should probably do like an Airbnb inside of this plane just for some extra money. People can go into the building, rent this thing out, do a little party or something, right? Maybe Aiden Ross and Speed can, or Kai, if he's ever in town in Miami, they can do a little live stream here. They can interview the president, make it into some content farming location. Bam. The spacious bedroom is perched in the nose of the aircraft, under the cockpit. It's a relatively quiet space, far from the engines, and in lieu of 2 first-class seats, as the nose is often reserved for, the bedroom has a cozy love seat. The bedroom operates like that of a conventional residence. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks nice. How are you going to flex a penthouse after something like this exists? Every time these high-end people show up to our city, whether it be Jeff Bezos, the guy from Palantir, now you got Donald Trump opening a whole new location, flexing. This is such a flex to the point where everything else that the influencers do, or that the person in the penthouse in Brickell, selling e-courses on their balcony, that it just makes that null and void, because look at the new standard we've got here. You can't beat that. If you're at this point, if you're not going to space like Jeff Bezos did in Project Blue, are you even popping? Right? Selling an e-course seems like you're working a 9 to 5 at this point. It doesn't even make sense to flex anymore in Miami. Just be a regular person trying to get by. That's really if you get by just by being a regular person, isn't that a better flex, considering stuff like this exists in our city now? Besides table and reading lights, flank the mattress, perched across from the TV and love seats, but the wallet cup holders still remind you that you're in an aircraft. Oh no, I can completely forget I'm in an aircraft if I see this. The en-suite bathroom looks like orthodox, finished with walk-in shower and bright vanity. Guest bedrooms accommodate additional guests. No need to stay tied down or a small passenger seat. Wow, look at that. That looks nice. That looks like the size of an efficiency all by itself. And it's nuclear proof. So if you got to escape the city of Miami because there's a nuclear bomb headed our way, you just hop in here. Apocalypse luxury. Apocalyptic luxury, right? All right, so yeah, that's a pretty good angle right there. The Boeing 747, gift from Qatar, will be stationed in Miami. That means that it is the apocalyptic destination for luxury. And you know what would make it even better if there is some sort of a apocalypse happening, and you know I really believe that the people of Miami will start flexing, even though the population is close to being completely eradicated by a nuclear bomb or something. Like they'll still be posting, yeah, you know, we in here safe and sound. We're inside this airplane foyer donated by Qatar to the president. We got access. You know what I'm saying? We just out here living life. Living our best life, you know, while everyone else out there, you know, pretty much dead at this point. The aircraft has private offices and dining areas, or use the salon as both. Its couches are great for lounging, while the circular table can be used for work, dinners, or around poker. It's an aircraft, of course. The plush leather seats can recline via switches in the armrest. Man, yeah, this is just... Yeah, this is just way too good. All right, noted. It is a nice gift, but is it as nice for the president to actually use it? No, he's going to put it inside of the presidential library as something we can all look at as a display, which is a flex in its own, right? If I got this as a gift, you know, I'd probably park it somewhere in the Everglades, maybe in the mud, go in there on an airboat, and go to sleep and call it home, right? But no, this is now something to look into like it's a museum display. All right, it's cool. I mean, when I found out that, where did I see the video? I think Eric Trump posted it. Eric Trump, Miami Library, something like that. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Look at this. Even though it's AI, I mean, the idea is impressive. To have a building like this in Miami, oh God, you know, everything's just gonna... I can already feel the HOA fees going up by the area in downtown because of this building. We got the brand new Trump Library down the block. HOA fees are up another $500 around here. Why? Because you got a view of the brand new building. That's why. And we got to make sure we get enough to clean the windows to keep it crystal clear so you can watch that building. Yeah, I mean, this is going to make our city pop even more. I mean, are we not popular enough? Why do we need to add more to the city? Can we take a break? Miami is already the destination for the entire nation, and we just keep doubling down, just adding more and more reasons as to why everybody comes to our city, makes things more unaffordable, makes things more expensive. At the same time, I'm not mad. But I got to point it out that it's just obvious that it's just one after the other. What are we going to do? Open up a SpaceX space station to blast off by Bayside? This thing is located by Bayside. It's in downtown, right? You just look out the window, you're going to see the Ferris wheel, a bunch of docked yachts. You know, you're going to look down at yacht owners from this view, which is interesting, right? I mean, Miami was lacking an education center, right? Like I said, we don't really go to libraries around here. To call this a library is actually the right move. I mean, this is marketing genius. A presidential library in Miami where libraries aren't used, right? Libraries are just like a remnant of history that is just waiting to be taken down and turned into a bar with books in the background, so that while we drink a cocktail, we could be like, oh yeah, I remember Cat in the Hat. It's fascinating to see this being built in our city. I like it. I like the idea. The whole battling against the Obama thing in Chicago. I mean, I like the fact that it's being built in Miami to, like, you know, start a little rivalry in Chicago, because that's what we do around here. We do stuff like this to flex on other cities, right? I'm surprised we don't got a Statue of Liberty around here, just to be like, yeah, just to stick it to New York. We know you're here. And just turn, you know, I have a shirt that says the Statue of Lit Birdie, L-I-T, Birdie, and it's a bottle service girl holding up a sparkler, right? And it's got a bottle she's holding a bottle menu, and it says, welcoming all New York, the brand new destination to get lit in Miami. Shout out to all the people that got that shirt, by the way. I hope you're enjoying it. But yeah, Miami right now at this point is just beginning rivalry after rivalry in every single city, just for the hell of it. So, yeah, look at this. And it's going to be right next to the Freedom Tower. Big display of the Qatar plane right there. You can walk around it indoors. You got some military vehicles. Golden staircase, by the way. I hear it's 100% gold. They can't be. Isn't it malleable? Isn't gold malleable? Like, easily you could bend it, right? If somebody just steps on that thing a little too hard, it'll leave a dent or something. Which is probably what they want for the insurance policy or something, right? You throw in a little insurance fraud here and there. Why not? You know, just to pay a bill or two. Oh, yeah, so I saw online that this place looks a little too much like a church. And you see how they got the seats in the front by the theater. By the way, this is all AI. I'm not really sure if this is the final design of the thing. But somebody pointed out that you know, if you're going to have one golden statue in the center of this theater, quote unquote, you might as well make it into a church, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, well, it seems possible. Maybe the idea would be nice where, you know, right there where they got the seats on stage, that could be where the choir goes, singing nothing but songs of patriotism, maybe a couple of Kid Rock tracks as well. I don't see why not. You add something like that, switch it up a little bit. When was the last time you've been to a luxurious place and they've got a place to worship? Have you been to a luxurious church? I know they exist. They've got to. Doesn't Joel Osteen do his stuff inside of his own building somewhere in the forest? But that is impressive. And they've got a ballroom. Look at the size of that. I mean, they said that this is a replica of the ballroom that was recently built in Washington, D.C. Oh, and they're also going to replicate the Oval Office so that anybody can walk in there. And we don't even see, that's the thing. We don't even got to go to D.C. We could just go to visit the Oval Office right here. Just get a little history of America here in the city of Miami. Oh my God, that's right. Now we're beefing with DC too. Why don't you put up the Lincoln Memorial somewhere by the Frost Museum? And it'll just be like President Lincoln sitting on a VIP section or something with a fur coat on. Yeah, it's really fascinating to see what's happening in the city of Miami. Let me see what AI's got to say about this. Summarize this page. You went digging through X and found the internet doing what it does best, mixing announcements, hype, and conspiracy theories into one chaotic smoothie. Here's the clean version. Eric Trump shared plans for a Donald J. Trump presidential library in Miami. Proposed. And by the way, I think this video came out on April 1st. By the way, if you want to see a pattern that I've caught on following the career of President Trump over the years, they love April Fool's Day. That goes to show you that this guy's got a great sense of humor, and not a lot of people know that. A lot of people get offended by some of the things that Trump does. If you look closely or listen closely, the guy just has a really good sense of humor, and he doesn't care if you find it funny or not. If he finds it amusing, he's going to say it and or do it. And that's what a real sense of humor looks like, in my opinion. You're not really doing it for the laughs. You're doing it for you to amuse yourself. in the world we navigate in. But Eric Trump, I think, did announce this on April 1st, which is interesting to me because it makes you think, is this a joke? But they've got enough money for this, and they're already invested in Miami. Why not double down and do another thing, right? A Boeing 747 Air Force One, nature of the announcement, conceptual renderings, AI-generated elements, public reactions. Some see it as bold, flashy landmark. It is bold, undeniably. Critics argue it may function more like a commercial venture. Hotel event space. Of course it is. It's a Trump building. A project tied to financial or branding motives. It's a Trump building. It's all that. All that and then some. A highly ambitious yet not confirmed concept for a Trump presidential library in Miami. What do you mean, man? Do that shit. The museums and libraries here are very lackluster. They've been lackluster. You go to a museum in Miami, they still got the same displays that they've had from 2 years ago, proudly. Which goes to show you that it's not really for locals to go to a museum. It's just for people visiting. It's like, hey, what do you want to do today? Well, the parties don't start until 1 a.m. and it's 1 p.m. What are we going to do? You go to the library, do some day drinking, go to the library drunk, or go to a museum drunk, and just see whatever's there. Just to pass the time until the parties come around. Let me see if AI is a... Do you think calling it a presidential library or an education center is an obvious attempt for a tax loophole? You're basically asking, is this a library or a very fancy way to pay less taxes? Which honestly is the most American question possible. I love my AI agent, man. My AI agent really knows how to talk to me. Official presidential libraries like those run by National Archives and Records Administration are funded privately at first, then transferred to the government, operated as public educational institutions. Others like Obama Presidential Center are run by nonprofits and still can lean heavily on donations, tax-exempt structures, educational mission branding. So the education angle isn't new. It's basically the cover charge to enter the nonprofit world. Where the tax advantage comes in. Something as structured as a nonprofit foundation and educational institution receive tax-deductible donations, potentially get property tax breaks, avoid certain taxes on income tied to its mission. Calling something educational is like putting a VIP wristband on your finances. Yeah. We love to hear that in Miami. That you're speaking our language now. The gray area where people get suspicious, the skepticism you're seeing online comes from this. It's a project that includes luxury, branding, commercial. People start wondering, is this education or is it a Coachella with tax benefits? And to be fair, that line gets blurry fast. Is it possible the library education center label helps with taxes? Yes, that's literally how the system is designed. See, so there you go. It's not a secret, guys. You guys going out, for the people that are naysayers to projects like this, going out there and saying, oh, this is an obvious attempt to avoid taxes. It's just, it is what it is. The system is designed for people to do nonprofits, to put stuff like this out, to create these kinds of valuable projects in order for people to appreciate in a nonprofit way. Either way, somebody's making money. Why are you mad at that? There's a video of Donald Trump saying that he didn't like the Freedom Tower. Yeah, here, check this out.
Speaking as an out-of-towner, every time I fly over Manhattan, I see basically an amputated Battery area. The bottom of the island looks amputated. I see the missing towers. Is that a better monument than the Freedom Towers just not having anything, or would you rather have the World Trade Towers back?
I'd rather have nothing than what they're building, Chris. It's a terrible design. It was designed by an egghead architect who really doesn't have a lot of experience at designing something like this. And it's just a terrible design. It's wrong angles. It's a, I mean, the worst of all, it's a skeletal building. And, you know, if you look at it, what is it really? It's a 60-story building with a skeleton on top of it that goes 40 or 50 stories with nothing in between. And it's a disgusting design that we're going to have to live with for many, many years in New York. And actually...
Oh, wait, no, this is in New York. So if I look... Oh, okay, that's where I got confused. So if I looked up Freedom Tower, it's referring to something in New York. I thought it was talking about the Freedom Tower right here in Miami.
Stronger and maybe a story taller. And that's what everybody wants. The New York Post came out today strongly. The Wall Street Journal yesterday in their editorial came out strongly for that. That's what people want. They don't want to have...
Here we go.
A beacon above Biscayne Boulevard, Miami's iconic Freedom Tower is honoring a century of history. The city's first storied
What's up, Andrew? Business Insider makes me horny. Man, whatever floats your boat, man.
2 years of extensive renovations. The national landmark also
whatever makes you pump the porpoise.
For hundreds of thousands of Cuban refugees fleeing Fidel Castro's regime.
I remember so many things of that time, and it's been almost 63 years.
For Eileen Gowdy, it was a symbol of hope as she and her family began a new life in the United States. She arrived from Cuba in 1960. 2 years later.
All right, so this was posted 5 months ago. So a whole century in the city.
Refuge. Her story, now part of Libertad, or Liberty, a permanent exhibit there.
How important is it to preserve these stories?
Very important for our children and grandchildren to realize what the Cuban Americans went through.
It just brings me so much emotion.
Ana Maria Machado Guerrero's American dream began when she was just 2 years old, arriving to the country with family.
And my eyes watered, thinking about everything that we went.
So in my opinion, about the history of Cuba, especially after the regime took over, is that I think we're going to see Cuba become liberated in our lifetimes. I knew it was going to happen before Trump started telling the people there to step down. It was just so obvious. I mean, the army is basically run by people on bicycles or whatever. You got a whole sergeant general with a basket in the front of the handlebars of the bike he rides for rations and stuff. And I knew eventually somebody's going to be like, all right, this is enough already. Especially since we're so close to it. It's 90 miles from Key West. It's going to become one of the It's going to become one of the Key West islands for sure. It's going to be Key West. There's eventually going to be ferries going to it. There's going to be people that you're going to rent a jet ski to go to Cuba for the weekend. It's just such an easy industry to just jumpstart like in less than 24 hours. All you got to do is just tell the government, like, all right, that's enough. No more of this. And then you just get started and completely begin a whole new life in that country. So Freedom Tower, the history, everything that's involved with it, no disrespect, but once that Trump Presidential Library opens right next to you guys, it's a wrap. Become a travel agency. You can still keep the history aspect to it, but if you want to keep some sort of Cuban legacy, especially after the liberation of that country, start offering cruise ships to go visit the country itself, vacation packages, all stuff like that. I'm sure they're bringing back the casinos, beachfront property. Add a real estate office in there to buy Cuban real estate. All that stuff is going to make you way more profitable than just having displays of the history of Cuba. Okay, the history of Cuba can still be there, but start making plans to offer service. Capitalistic products like travel packages and stuff like that. You're going to make a killing and still keep the legacy alive. So more power to Freedom Tower, even though the Trump Presidential Library is opening right next door. And man, what a flex, man, because that building is going to be gigantic compared to the Freedom Tower.
Every corner are tributes to the stories of refugees and to the tower's century of historic relevance in Miami. It's been visited by overseas royalty, President Ronald Reagan, and was host of funeral services for the Queen of Salsa, legendary Cuban singer Celia Cruz. Acclaimed musician, producer, songwriter, and close friend Emilio Estefan was there that day. A personal moment for Estefan in more ways than one.
I remember when I used to be outside waiting for food and for everything.
Emilio and his wife, global superstar Gloria Estefan, supporting the bid to preserve the tower's legacy.
What do you want people to know about your story and the stories that are going to be told here?
My story and Gloria's story is about that dreams can come true. You know, you can achieve your American dream.
A dream now saved for generations. A testament to the human spirit and power of a city's story still being written. George Solis, NBC News.
It brings a tear to my eye, you know, to know that if this building, this Trump building, ends up being a reality right next to such a historic building, is just gonna, I don't know, knowing how Miami is when it comes to things that are trending or relevant or whatever, it's like, I don't know. I don't know what to expect when it comes to the history of this city, man, because we're a completely different thing now. I mean, even when I perform on stage, like I ask anybody who was born and raised in Miami, like 2 people, right? And it's just the ratio between like the whole new generation of this city, based on in comparison to the city that we used to know growing up, it's just not the same anymore. Everybody moved out. All the locals are concentrated in certain areas. We're not as spread out as we used to be. Wynwood is completely gentrified by the out-of-towners. Brickell, downtown, Miami Beach. And then when you got new landmarks like this coming out, what does that mean for the rest of Miami and how it's represented? That's all I'm saying. The evolution of Miami is just speeding up, and they just keep adding more and more to it. But I'm not mad. I'm going with the flow, baby. If this is what's going to happen next in Miami, you can bet your ass that I will be in there trying to get into the ballroom, which is the next thing I forgot to mention. Look at this ballroom. You know there's going to be some eyes wide shut happening in there, and I'm all for it. I hope it leaks and it ends up on Only in Dade. Somebody wearing a gesture outfit with a mask on. Drinking a vial of questionable red liquid or whatever. I hope some Illuminati stuff starts happening in Miami. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to try to sneak my way in there. I'm going to do all the tricks like I was trying to sneak into a nightclub in this city. I'm going to be like, hey, I know President Trump personally. Get Trump on the phone. Tell him Manny's in here. Tell him Manny's outside waiting in line. Yeah, he knows who I am. Call up Trump. Probably get tackled by Secret Service. What do you mean I'm not on the list? You know who I am? Pull every stunt. Oh man, I could just imagine like, all right, so that's another thing that's gonna be overshadowed by ballroom. Is ballrooms going to be the next nightlife in the city of Miami? Are nightclubs obsolete now that there's ballrooms? I mean, are you really a baller in Miami if you're not invited to the ballroom itself? There's probably going to be like, what do they call that thing that they do at the Met, the Cosmopolitan? What do they call it? Where everybody starts dressing up weird and it's like a fashion thing. I'm sure that's going to be held here. I mean, there's so much to look forward to when it comes to this kind of thing, right? So many things you can do with it. And one thing for sure, everybody's going to start moving here. Everybody's going to start looking at Miami vacation packages. Now, whenever you go outside of this city and you try to make it a round trip to get a plane back, you know those planes are going to be sold out. It's going to be $60 to go to Vegas, but $600 to fly back to Miami. Oh, my God. I don't know. All right. Well, with that being said, let's see what's trending in the city. Oh yeah, Coachella is happening. That's right. I saw this thing that Justin Bieber pulled up to Coachella with a laptop and 0 apologies. Opened YouTube, let the crowd make requests, and karaoke through his entire back catalog like it was 2010 all over again. Say what you want about him, but that catalog hits different at 2 a.m. in the desert. Baby One Time, One Less Lonely Girl. These were not just songs, they were a whole era of growing up. Sometimes the most, not my era of growing up, but somebody's era. And I can understand that. I can understand if Justin Bieber, is this a cry for help? You know, I respect the guy's career, everything he represented. You know, he's a child star, but you can clearly see it take a toll on him. I mean, when I see him on interviews and the way he interacts with people, I've seen him, you know, doing unhinged stuff like walking by himself by Tropical Park in Miami. If it wasn't an AI thing I saw online, but like the guy clearly is a very affected by the success of his career, especially at such a young age. But this is actually a brilliant move, not gonna lie. All right, that's right. I probably can't play music on a live stream. But anyways, this is a great idea because this is really what it is to be a pop star. You just play the track in the background. You get a bunch of people dancing with you. You add some sexual moves on there, right? And then you make the crowd go wild because of the choreography of the whole thing. Justin Bieber went to Coachella and said, man, forget all that. I'm just going to play my songs on YouTube, karaoke them. Who does that? This is actually brilliant. I love this. Brilliant move by the guy. I wish I would have thought of it, man. That's what I'm going to do. I'm probably, if I ever blow up and do like arenas and stuff, like I'll just play, you know, social media clips of the sketches and the stand-up clips and maybe even podcast clips like this one, and just start riffing off what I was saying. It's like, oh yeah, I said that because I was going through something at my life at that time, and this is what happened. You know, probably go into a rant about the story as to how I came up with the material or something like that. This is brilliant. This is probably going to be the landmark of a whole new era of pop stardom, where you don't even try anymore. That choreography stuff, man, it's already, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, man. Like, every time I see a pop star sexualizing themselves on stage, it's a little cringe at this point. Right? Whenever you see a pop star going out there and just doing everything except showing the entire fucking vaginal area with some sort of outfit, maybe even like a dancer putting their hands over it and like doing a caress or something. It's just like, can you stop trying to turn people on? I'm trying to listen to your music without getting a boner. Like, what are you doing? Why do you gotta turn me on when I gotta listen to your music, man? Chill out. Last night, I was at Blackbird. Shout out to Luke on his birthday. We celebrated over at Blackbird Ordinary. You know, I don't know if it was Cardi B or Nicki Minaj, but like one of their songs came on, and we were hanging out with a group of girls there, and the masculinity that came out of the group of women was just intense. You know, when Cardi B or Nicki Minaj start rapping about how they're not gonna fuck broke boys, like the way that girls like get into a mood that they just start like going like this in your face and like rapping with their like manicured hands, they're just like, I know that's right. Like, why are you doing it? Why are you sending that energy to me? You're in my section. They could literally be you know, VIP package at a concert. You bottle of champagne, you know, in a bucket. Caviar on the skybox watching a Cardi B or Nicki Minaj concert, you know, $3,000 to get that skybox, and they'll still be rapping it in your face like you're broke. That's what I saw last night when I was in the section. Granted, I got the section for free. Shout out to Bird, but still, that doesn't matter. It's the principle of it. Why are you rapping in my face aggressively? You're hanging out where I'm supposed to be. You're in my territory. Now it's yours all of a sudden. Yeah, so something about sexualization and pop music that just it brings out a certain side of people. Anyways, yeah, I think this is brilliant. Coachella paid $10 million to Justin Bieber just to do karaoke on YouTube. He wasn't even trying. All right, I want you guys to see what it's like to do content on the internet nowadays. Pick an angle, positive or negative. And as long as it's trending, you're going to get some traction. There it is right there. Full front and center on this timeline. Say what you want about Bieber. He absolutely crushed it. And then the one right after. You paid $10 million for this? It looks like the positive one got more votes than the negative one. But the negative one still got a lot of votes, so I don't know. Social media, I tell you. What else happened in Coachella? Let's see. Coachella. Who's going to the weekend, week one of Coachella? I can't afford Coachella, so I'm going to sleep on the lawn and listen to Spotify for 3 days. And you know what? Whatever money you save, put it in your retirement plan. That's what I did. Every time I miss out on stuff like this, I always calculate how much money I put for 60-year-old Manny. That's what I've been doing lately, man. That guy right there, what he's doing is smarter than the average person. You just find a replacement. It's almost like when you're hungry, but instead of eating a whole sleeve of Oreos, you just drink some tea that helps you go to sleep. That you just did that, but for tickets. Yeah, look, you got almost 4,000 likes. People agree with you, man. Just put on the music you like on Spotify. Put it in your. Why do you got to be surrounded by people to listen to the music you love? I'm sure the vibe is great and it's exciting, but I mean, at the end of the day, I've been to concerts many times and I don't remember shit. All I remember is I had a good time, which is good. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I mean, is it really worth the trip and the tickets and the waiting in line and the sweating? Maybe for some, man, but yeah. You know what feels good? Knowing that your retirement is right around the corner and that you're going to be just fine. That's a great feeling. But then again, you don't want to be the person that retires. You're like, I should have gone to more concerts. It's a double-edged sword when it comes to this stuff. But don't worry, man. Whatever money you save, just be glad about that. How does one get invited to Coachella as a creator? Are we going to act oblivious right now? We're going to play stupid? Is that what we're doing right now? You know how to get in. I think there was even a video of a girl saying, I sucked the dick. I sucked the dick to go to Coachella. Granted, I like the guy. Whatever it takes to cope. Yeah, there was a girl literally saying that she had to do something to go to Coachella. Not mad at it. It's called honesty. And if we were all honest, man, I mean, the world would be a completely different place. The reason why the world can be a little chaotic is because there's so many lies out there. And when the truth starts surpassing the boundaries of the lie, that's when things start getting a little crazy. But if you start being honest from the beginning, it doesn't get chaotic and people are a lot more satisfied. But like, yeah, because I was expecting that. As a content creator, how do you get into Coachella? Just say, whose dick do I gotta suck to go to Coachella? Parentheses, please be attractive. You'll probably get into Coachella more likely than not, just by being that honest on social. Hey, do you guys know who the owner of Coachella is? That's a little bit better. That's way more honest than how do you get in. This girl right here is probably looking, who do I need to blow? Without, of course, getting shadow banned. Well done, Miss Giggles. And, with a name like that, we already know that your sense of humor is implying something here. Every single Filipino going to Coachella has to be at Benny's set. I don't care. I don't know what that means. I got free tickets to Coachella. I'm screaming. How did you do it? How did you do it? Let's see what they say. Congratulations. Need a +1. Oh my God. +1. That should be me. Oh my God. Congrats. How, girl? That's one thing, like I said before, man. One thing you got to give credits to the ladies for is that they really back up each other's delusions. You know how. Congrats with an angry teddy bear. I like that response. That's a good one. Oh my God, congrats. How to get it. It looks like Justin Bieber stole the show with his laptop. He did it. All right, let's see what's trending in Miami. Let's talk to the people of Miami. How long have we been streaming for? Let's see. Where does it say? It used to say somewhere. 52 minutes. All right. We got 10 more minutes. Recent. Oh, we got the thirst traps. 2 minutes ago. We outside, baby. Birthday girl. You got to let them know. Fort Lauderdale, Cleveland. Chocolate lady. What does that mean? Taurus? That's Taurus, right? Or is that a cervix? I don't even know, man. Is cervix one of the zodiac signs? What sign are you? I'm a cervix. Look at this. Just closed. $1 million for something that's probably located in Westchester. Can you look at this shit? That's $1 million. You can't even show the inside, just the faces of the two realtors and the home. And it just closed. Congratulations to whoever bought that. Oh, we've got more. We got more pretty ladies on the timeline. Oh, I know this person. I think so. I don't know, man. Baddies all look the same. I mean, they're attractive, but at the same time, you've seen this person before, and it wasn't Bethany. All right. Baddies all look the same, man. Come on, ladies, switch it up a little bit. The same look. Oh wait, is this the marriage? This the marriage thing? Bach pics. Gotta let them know somebody wifed it up. By the way, still need the attention. Oh boy. All right. I'm sure the guy that married her already knows what to expect. It's like, all right, well, yeah, I choose to have you for the rest of my life so I can stress out about all the guys you're subconsciously attracting. If you don't know how to handle a bad bitch, it's like, I want to live stress-free. I don't want to know that you're gaining attention from guys trying to bang you. I don't know what to tell you. Every day on the bars is a beautiful day. Yeah, this guy's doing close to acrobatics at this point. All right, pretty good. Calisthenics is a thing of beauty and strength. King Cut Calisthenics. Goodbye for now. You know, I'm out here making fun of baddies, and then you got guys posting like this. You got the guy doing the whole, like, oh, I'm spinning around and, like, lifting my whole body, and then you got a guy just like, goodbye, Miami. Step it up, fellas. What, can fellas be bad bitches? What do we got to do? We got to oil up our six-pack abs or something and just, you know, hold up a cigar? Yeah, I've seen that picture before. That's the equivalent of baddies. Between beaches and dreams in Miami. Congratulations on finding love in the city. Iguana. This looks like this looks like a cosplay for Scarface. Maybe somebody that got shot at the final scene in that Airbnb mansion or whatever it was. Palm trees and 80 degrees. And of course, then you've got the cougars. I can't even call them cougars anymore. As a 40-year-old guy, you know, they're now my peers. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to all the people that are 50 and older on social media. You guys post the most wholesome stuff. You still give me hope for humanity. You know what I'm saying? Because you've got the youth doing youth things, which of course they dominate social media because of technology and TikTok trends or whatever. Then you got the 30, 40-year-olds in denial that they've made bad mistakes and are trying to catch up. And then you've got the 50, 60-year-olds that are somewhat tech savvy, that know how to edit a video. And look what they post. You know, butterfly wings. I'm outside. Look at the palm trees. This is me enjoying life. Look how wholesome this is. This is an edit that comes from the heart. You know what? Uliquist, you're going to get a little heart from me because I can feel your heart through the post. Look at you enjoying sushi, not posting any ass photos. You know what I'm saying? Not writing things like soft girl era, healing, no more toxic boys. You're just out here living life under the gaze of God. I give it a thumbs up. Enjoy life, Uliquist. I could be saying all that, and her DMs probably be full of guys trying to hit. What up, Ma? Look, see, look how simple guys are. See? Simple. That's a man that found peace. Hey, snap up this photo of me real quick with terrible lighting in Brickell. That's it. You don't got to put a whole album, nothing. Just me enjoying a moment. Look at this. Look how simple guys are when it comes to creating social media content, man. Shout out to you. And you know what? you're gonna get a little heart from me too, bro. Congratulations on enjoying life. You deserve that. No context. Tell me a surreal moment you've experienced in life. I'll start. I once smoked weed with vanilla ice next to a porta potty. Yeah, that sounds like a vanilla ice story, man. It's almost like saying, yeah, I smoked pot with a child celebrity, a child Hollywood star. You know, like that's what ends up happening when you were popular in the 90s, maybe even early 2000s. All those people, you know, once the iPhones came out, their career was a wrap. Yeah, but you know what? Congrats, man. I mean, Vanilla Ice seems like a cool guy. He has a video. Look at this. Vanilla Ice explains pop music. There's a video of him that like explain. Yeah, here it is.
Why is everyone so infatuated with the 90s?
Because it was the greatest decade ever before computers ruined the world.
Really?
All right, first of all, the computers didn't ruin the world. It changed the world. And decades and eras, instead of it being like a 10-year thing, it became like a 10-week thing. Yeah, that's all it did. It just compressed trends into moments we don't even remember no more. Or maybe the only way we remember it is by doing like little dance moves or like something that was like popular at the time. That's it. Back then, because I was born in the 80s and I was a kid in the 90s, and I was able to see that last decade right before the phones came out. And I remember that I had a Sony Ericsson phone that you would have to plug in a bootleg audio jack to listen to music, and it can also take photos. And I said, they should make these better, because it was like this big. And this is probably like 2004, 2005. Right? It was the size of a little ice cream sandwich, and it had a MP3s, and it had a camera. The camera sucked. The MP3 player was, you know, it would like lag out and break easily, or it probably wouldn't work at all, but it was still put together. And I said, this would be a great idea if like you could put like a computer in here, or like an iPod in here, because I also had the iPod that had the whole fucking hard drive in it, that you try to choose a song, you know, maybe you try to listen to Vanilla Ice and it has to go deep in your archives, and you can hear that thing like using horsepower to access the song, and then like, you know, the song would play. I said, this could probably be great on a phone. And then it happened. Apple iPhone came out, and that's when everything changed. Facebook became a public company instead of a private company, and that's when everything changed, because then everyone started studying, like, how do trends work and how do things become popular? And then they made it into a science in their own way, and then like this company or this artist figured out a formula, they figured out a formula, they figured out a formula, and then the phone just kept throwing out these formulas. And then the decades were over. 80s had its moment, 90s had its moment, 2000s kind of sort of had its moment, but then it was a wrap. I wouldn't say computers ruined it. It just sped time up. That's all it did.
Realize that in 2004, the iPhone came out, right?
Okay.
What's happened in pop culture since 2004 to 21?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Why is everyone so infatuated?
Pop culture exists, man. It's just not. I wouldn't say pop culture can be defined by a handful of things. Pop culture is now defined by dozens and dozens of things within a short period of time. That's all it is, Vanilla Ice. See, I already sound like I'm smoking pot with Vanilla Ice next to a porta potty. Because that's what I would have said while I was passing the joint his way. You know what I'm saying? I would have been saying stuff like that to him. It's like, no, man, just compress time, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how pop makes you talk. You know, it gets you all in your head and shit. All right, shout out to that business. There you go. Look at this. Another guy enjoying life in a normal way. No ass photos anywhere. Just him in the moment. Bald. In a concert. Got the front row and everything. Probably went by himself. Like the king he is. Enjoying candlelit dinners. Oh, is that a dinner? No, it's just a concert. I've been to one of these things before. Unas más vacaciones. See the older people. You see how simple and clean it is. Somebody hanging out with their mom. Miami Carroll City football. I demand to know what the Pope is going to do about the fake plastic surgery doctors in Miami. Dementia Donnie. Now look, this is funny, but dementia's nothing to laugh at. All right, so I'm not going to give you a like because I wouldn't want you to know that I was here. Especially if you got dementia. I don't know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? You're going to pull up to a comedy show and yell this out while I'm performing? All right, doesn't seem like there's a lot trending in Miami other than just people living regular lives. Nothing wrong with that. Shout out. Flight cancel and stuck. All right, that's that. Okay, let's see what else we got. So your boy looked up Miami on the TikToks. George says, say hi to me. Hi, George. How are you, buddy? The snake game on Nokia just reminded me of that. Yeah, I like that game. That was a good game. Great to pass the time. All right, so anyways, before you guys judge me on this timeline, I just want to let you know that your boy does not look up baddies on TikTok. It's embarrassing to go on your phone and hit explore, or like when you got to click on the search icon to like add somebody, and then they see stuff like this and they think like, are you looking up half-naked women on social media? No. The algorithm just knows that I'm a bachelor living my best life, and then they say, hey, look at all these women. Don't you want to go to their their link in bio? And like, you know, I don't know what's going on with the algorithms for young, attractive kings like me that that all they want to do is just seduce you into the temptation of these women posting content. And like, you don't even got to put a lot of effort to create this kind of content, which is the most upsetting. All right, I get it. You look good. Congrats on the genetic pool lottery. But at the same time, you know what I got to do to get at least like 50 likes? I got to do a whole script. I got to film it. I got to act in it. I got to edit it. All you got to do is just live the baddie life you live. You get invited somewhere. You put on an outfit. You post it. You got a whole bunch of, maybe not the attention I would like, in my opinion. I mean, even if I was like a hot guy, you know, 6 foot, whatever, and then I post something and all I got is just girls leaving me fire and heart eye emojis, I'd feel a certain way too. It's like, ladies, I'm more than just a piece of meat. Have you seen this comedy skit? I mean, whatever. If this is the kind of attention you like, that's fine. But the algorithm just keeps shoving it in your face. I don't need to see this all. I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong, but you got to understand that if you're overindulging this stuff, you can't live a healthy life if sex is always around. You know what I mean? It's just too distracting. I got goals and ambitions. I can't be seeing this all the time. It's going to throw me off. Oh, I'm going to go run this morning. And then as soon as you try to get like some sort of like running tip or motivational video, you got to see this. I don't want to think about this right now. I want to go run. I went to Whole Foods one time. I remember I was just spending money on like organic food. A girl with a big ass walks by. It's like, why are you wearing yoga pants at Whole Foods, bro? I understand you're doing yoga or whatever, but why you gotta be so tight, man? I'm trying to fucking focus on these organic lemons, trying to make lemonade at home, and now you walking around. Oh my God! Now I'm not even thinking about eating right now. I am, but not like, you know, that. You know what I mean? Anyways. We are all kings. We don't give ourselves enough credit, do we, as men? Huh? Women are out there just, oh, you go, girl. And guys post a photo of them enjoying life, and you're like, yeah, you pussy. Yeah, you enjoying life, are you? You acting like a bitch on the gram, posting photos of the sunset. George says, boss, you are the best. You make me laugh. Keep it going. Hey, all right, George. Hey, man, that's what I do, man. Late at night, live, just talking shit with you. All right. Look at this. Just back-to-back thirst traps. Ma will walk. All right, let's see what this guy has to say. Oh, he's live too. But he's got 53,000 views on, live stream watchers. Oh, God damn it. And he's got a mustache too, man. Congratulations on the facial hair. There's nothing wrong with a mustache, man. Mustaches used to get bad reps back in the day. Our reputation, the people with mustaches would be like PDF file. porn star, or somebody wearing a wire, or a drug dealer, either or, you know, it interchanges depending on the mood. And now what do we got? We're just guys trying to get by at our age. I'm glad mustaches are a little more widely accepted. It's good to see. All right, we got foodies. All right, look, check this out. 1.5 million views. Posted in January. All right, fuck it. We'll see. What is Raccoon Island? You guys ever been to Raccoon Island? Beer Can Island is an uninhabited 15-acre spoil island in Miami's Biscayne Bay, known for being populated by 100 of wild raccoons. So you mean like there's people you can get rabies here, and people? This is a landmark. I mean, if you, it's cheaper than doing drugs, I guess. Hey, I can't get an 8-ball, but why don't we get bitten by raccoons and see if we get rabies, and then we go to Club Space right after. Located near Oleta River State Park, it is a popular only boat accessible destination for visitors to see and feed the surprisingly friendly wild animals. Okay. All right. All right, let's just see what the guy posted. The joint in his mouth. You gotta love it, bro. You gotta love it. And of course, somebody's gonna be smoking weed. If raccoons can smoke weed, you know they'd be rolling up joints too, with their little fucking raccoon hands just rolling that shit up. Come on, man. Yeah, raccoons should be the mascot for marijuana. It's the perfect animal. This guy kind of looks. Fun. Like giving him French fries. They're raising up their collect. I'm not gonna lie, man. That looks kind of fun. Shout out to One Gucci for documenting that. But wait a second. I clicked on this. I spent the day with her, and it doesn't show me the. It goes to this one. Why? Did this one get taken down? All right, let's see this one. Miami is calling. All right, maybe not. All right, so this was called Nighttime in Miami by Silly Dilly. All right, obviously, recently moved to the city. Thinks that this is the way the city really is, you know, a whole GTA server, which in some aspects it is, but clearly, you know where to go to find back-to-back vehicles like this. Oh, wait a second. This is the real Miami right here. You captured it right there. There it is. Oh, my God. It's too fast. Hold on. I want to capture that. Right there. That's it. Everything that you posted, not so much Miami as a local. That's all. That's just the facade, right? That's just for the gram. But this right here, you captured the true essence of what is behind the scenes in the city. All right? Somebody either drunk, on fent or crack, or maybe a combination of all three, on the sidewalk somewhere in the luxurious Brickell area, and then somebody in an expensive car trying to get it out of the way so that they can continue on with their evening. This right here captures what you really see when you live in this city. It's not always shiny. It's not always glitter. It's not always luxurious. Yeah, it is, but at the same time, there's an ugly side to Miami that just doesn't get enough props or is highlighted as much up until this point. So shout out to them for capturing this moment. This is what you see in downtown Miami. You could see all the high rises up in the skyline, but as soon as the camera goes down, right there, that's what you see. And this guy probably used to live the Miami life in the 90s before 2020 came around. It's a damn shame what happened to our city. They even took away spring break, man. I miss spring break. Remember when you used to go to Miami Beach during spring break? As soon as you park your car, it gets twerked on immediately. Then the year that they tried to cancel it, they said it's $100 to park. I was like, I'll pay the $100 just to see the people twerking. You know, with their pedicured feet, scratching the paint job or whatever. I'll just, call Allstate to handle that. But at the same time, man, like, you park your car, it's a ghost town. There's nothing happening. It's just so different these days. Look, a pink yacht in Miami.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Miami, Florida. Enjoy the breathtaking beachscapes, clear blue waters, and vibrant energy. This is the beauty of Miami.
Where's the yacht? All right, TikTok is tripping, man. You click on one thing and it doesn't show you nothing. All right. That's that. I think we're set. Is it an hour? It is indeed an hour and 15 minutes. All right, guys, we did it. We had an absolutely trending / topical episode where we just looked to see what Miami is up to, what to expect. I think some of the things that will be happening in the near future is the F1 is happening, I think, in May. Then in June, the World Cup is coming to Miami. Then I think November, Grand Theft Auto 6 Vice City is dropping. So Miami's got 2026 in Miami is popping, man. Things are happening around here. Things are really moving. I'm sure there's a lot more that I haven't been able to recall at the moment, but shout out to our city. A lot of things to look forward to. You got the Trump Tower. Hopefully the arches get finished. Maybe our traffic will get a little bit better. Even if it's just temporary, I'll take it. Stand-up comedy shows are definitely a lot of fun. That's right, because on Mondays and Fridays, we're at Thank You Miami in Little Havana. If you guys want to see what it's like to be a comedian in the city, definitely check out those shows. 9 p.m. if you want to perform. The list drops at 8. Then Tuesdays and Saturdays, we are at Blackbird Ordinary. 2 Lit Tuesday, So Lit Saturday, and these are for the people that want to go out and appreciate that Miami nightlife. Tuesdays is Ladies' Night. Ladies drink free till 1 a.m. And Saturday nights, bottles are $150. And let me tell you, man, we have been partying. Well, not me. I kind of take a break. But y'all can party. I mean, I kind of witnessed the party. I stick around for a little while, try to get a little lit. We got to go on brand. But just visit MiamiComedy.com. And if you become a VIP member, it's only $20 a month. And you'll get access to drink perks as well as seating reservations to all our shows. And, we treat you like family. You get into this texting group. You let us know when you want to come out. We'll hook you up. You and anybody that joins the membership. Once again, MiamiComedy.com. Thanks very much for joining us on another Miami Comedy Podcast live stream. I'm your host, Manny Garavito. Have a great night, Miami. I will see you next time.